So I want to go back to, we talked about what the ideal traits of a franchise owner, what that looks like. Tell me exactly what they do. Like, what is the role that I would do as a franchise owner then? My day in, my day out. What does a day in the life look like to them?
Yeah, so the franchise owner is really responsible for two things. One, it's the sales and networking, right? So Renovation Sells, we focus on connecting with realtors across the different communities. And the reason we do so is that we know that, the top 5% of realtors in any given market control 90% of that market in general. They know people who are buying and selling homes. They know people who are renovating, or moving in or moving out. So the object of the franchise owner for Renovation Sells is to be great at networking and sales to realtors. You have to be able to give presentations at brokerages, houses, and stand up in front of large groups of realtors and explain our value proposition and our model. And then the other side of it is you have to go out and manage and find subcontractors to oversee the design that our corporate location gives back to the franchisees. So it's really a sales, networking, and then a construction project management job is what the task is of the franchisee.
Wow. So the cool thing is I get to be in the real estate business, in the renovation business, without having that experience, or in my case, the ability to actually do the work myself.
Correct. I mean, you have to love real estate and you have to love construction. We really do what they do on TV, like what they see on the shows. I mean, that's our job, so it's kind of a sexy business that we have, and it attracts a lot of people because most people watch those, shows and say, man, I really wish I could do that. But, you can. And you just have to have a love for real estate and construction. You have to want to be a project manager and want to do the sales and networking piece. That is really the requirement that we ask of new franchisees.
That's so cool. And you have some crazy, like, average turnaround time. Tell me, how long does it take to complete a project? Obviously, they all vary in size, but.
Yeah, it's typically like 3 weeks. So we've really taken light construction and we've processed it. Now that's 3 weeks of construction time. So from contract signing, it typically takes us 2 weeks to start. So we get a signed contract. We have a whole process that revolves around, what the scope of work is, sending in the intake form to our design team, and then our design team kicking back a whole design board with a order sheet to the franchisees. And then they will make the order and set up the job. And then construction on a typical home takes about 3 weeks. So the whole process from contract signing to completion is, let's call it 5 to 6 weeks. But in construction, that's really fast.
Wow, that is. All right. So this may sound obvious, but I got to ask anyway, because I'm not really sure from start to finish. But as a franchisee, how do I make money specifically?
You make money as the general contractor, right? So you will marginize your subcontractor. So if you have a painter or a floor person or a cabinet painter, now we're doing mostly cosmetic construction. So we're not trying to reinvent the wheel. We're not trying to do architecture plans. We're not trying to rip down cabinetry. We're just trying to facelift homes. So you will know the pricing of your subcontractors. You will put a certain amount of markup on top of that pricing, which will return a certain percent of profit margin, which we teach. And that's how you make money by being the general contractor of the project.
Okay, so I'll have somebody at the home office, whether it's my business coach or there's somebody at Renovation Sells that will help me when I estimate out to know, or I should say when I get estimates back from the subs on whether this is a good price or not. How is there somebody there to help me with the margins?
Well, we have a detailed training. So we have a virtual training that we put everybody through. And then we have a 5-day in-person training that's really rigorous here in Chicago at our beautiful office here in Bucktown. And then we teach all about margin pricing. Now, every location and community across the country has different labor rates. They have different material rates. We give them pricing matrices and sheets that we teach so they can take that back into their market, start to network with subcontractors and develop their own pricing within their market.
Gotcha. And you said 42 franchises since 2020?
Yes. So we sold our first franchise location in September of 21, and we currently sell about 2 a month and have since we started. So since September of 21 to, I guess we're getting close to 2 years in the business coming up this September of 23. We're at 42 franchisees that encompass like 77 territories in 23 states.
Dude, you're like the textbook emerging franchise brand for sure. I mean, that is super cool.
We're emerging. I wonder when we're gonna get rid of the tag emerging, and we're just a franchisee growing. But yes, we are a fast growing system. The good news for us is that we're first to market. There's no one like us right now in franchising, so we're the only ones that are doing pre-sale renovations that have franchised our business.
Wow. Just think look, we don't know when competition is going to come for you guys, but just think of it this way. You already have a 3-year runway that you've already had.
Correct.
That is incredible.
Yep.
Being first to market's key.
It is. And we've established a good foothold with the brokerage network. We use the brokerage network extensively. So, I'm confident. And look, I'm not naive to think someone's behind us. I know it. And I know there's a spinoff that's just starting, and that's fine. Competition is fine. I always say we all fish from the same ocean. I mean, this world's big enough for competition, and competition is healthy. But we're first to market. We have the name recognition in franchising at the moment. And I think even if someone comes up that has a similar concept, they'll say, "Oh, you're like Renovation Sells," because we were here first.
Bingo. That's the best part.
It is.
That is the best part. And I understand that you guys have already been on the Entrepreneur 500 for fastest growing franchise list. You guys are on already?
Right. We were the fastest growing franchise according to Entrepreneur Magazine. We were one of the top emerging brands according to Entrepreneur Magazine. So yes, we've quickly become labeled as one of the fastest and top brands in the franchising game.
That's amazing. Any idea how big? I mean, obviously there's so much room for competition because the industry is enormous. You guys have any idea how big is this industry?
Well, I mean, I know that there is, 5.5 to 6 million homes per year that go to market for sale. And I know that, the couple companies that do it now, we're the only ones that franchise, and there's 2 or 3 others that do it at a corporate location, but we only touch like 0.01% of the serviceable market. So if you're asking me how big it is, it's unlimited in terms of what opportunities there really are.
Wow. And what's really impressive is that you guys did this in just around the COVID area, the COVID timeframe and post-COVID, which is amazing. You're proving that you can do this during a pandemic and post-pandemic. It did not matter.
And it's been an up and down, in and out real estate market. I've been in real estate for 15 years. So I'm used to the cyclical nature of it. But obviously COVID has thrown all kinds of stuff at us. We had COVID, then we had the post-COVID rates, and then, the inflationary period and supply chain issues. But the good news is our business is really resilient. I think what I'm most proud about is that our business model is actually a real value add in any community across the country. We don't sell someone that people say, man, that's a terrible idea. We sell something that people like their eyes light up and they say, that's the best idea I've ever heard. So, that gives us confidence that, it works in any market, in any economic environment, because the realtors and the clients that we work with see real value in what we're doing.
Wow. Is there a percentage of business you'd say that is non-broker related? So it's just somebody like me that wants to have some renovation done at my home?
Yeah, it may be like 10%. I mean, it's not a lot. People obviously know of us. They typically know of us through their brokerage because we don't really market to the general public. We think that those are wasted advertising dollars. So if someone does know us, they probably got our name from a referral, from a past client, from a realtor that they work with. I think what the key is that we really are focused on that cosmetic renovation. So typically, if you're asking us to gut your house, that's not something we're going to do. If you're asking us to put an addition on your house, that's not something that we're going to do. If you want a quick facelift, if you want to sand your floors and paint your walls, that's something we're very good at and we're happy to do.
Thank you for tuning into the Emerging Franchise Brands podcast. For additional insights, guest applications, and to stay connected, visit us at efbpodcast.com. The Emerging Franchise Brands podcast is for entertainment purposes only, and the views expressed do not necessarily represent those of Emerging Franchise Brands, its host Frank Fumey, or Emerging Franchise Group, LLC. Any discussed franchise or investment opportunity requires thorough investigation, obtaining proper disclosure documents, and expert consultation before making any investment decisions. The podcast and its host do not offer professional advice or endorsements, and they hold no responsibility for actions, representations, accuracy, or consequential damages related to the podcast content.